وقل للخلق وللأزمان كم تهنأ وفؤادك يملأه القرآن. قل لهموم الناس وأسئلة الحيران كم فيك سرورا وسلاما وطمينا.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I'm actually in the city and I'm going to my internship. Now I'll be honest, I keep calling it an internship, but it's not an internship. It's more of like an internship workshop. I spent $189 for this. So I'm going to take you guys along, inshallah. It should be a fun day. I'll show you guys all the tasks that I do, and I'll keep it 100% honest if it's really worth it or not, especially for students like you guys who might be thinking, well, is it really worth spending that much amount of money? But yeah, inshallah, I'll show you guys all of that. And at the end of the day, I think we have an interview lined up with the dude as well. His name is Dr. Peter Macmillan. And it should be fun, inshallah. So keep around, stick around. I'm going to show you guys everything that's going to go on. And I'll see you guys later, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so I was stuck on Southern Cross Station recording this for you guys. And it's quite a nice station, I'll be honest. I haven't been here before. But yeah, it was kind of cool. They kind of forced us to use the other escalators because, bro, Melbourne and their construction, it needs to fix up, bro. It's not even funny anymore. But yeah, the architecture was crazy here, subhanAllah. Like, so much open space, you know, the views. Bro, I sound like a performative guy now. But yeah, it was kind of cool. Can't speak. It reminded me back home of New Zealand, like, you know, the better country. But nah. Then I started making my way to the guy's office. I think it was in Little Collins Street, if I'm not mistaken. And the main thing that was running through my mind was just like, you know, what do I even do when I get there? Because there's going to be other people and I'm not that social, so it was going to be awkward. But yeah, that was what was running through my mind. And I was like, you know, I have to make the most of it, bro, because I'm spending 189 buckaroos, Australian dollars. So I could not let this opportunity go to waste. So I came in there, you know, started smiling and stuff to make sure, you know, I looked like I wanted to be there. But nah, alhamdulillah. Alright guys, Abdullah from the future here. So this video was supposed to come out 6 months ago. Unfortunately, I got caught up and, you know, with uni and everything, I wasn't able to edit it. There's supposed to be like a proper transition that happens with me introducing what's going to happen. But unfortunately, I didn't record that because I didn't plan out this video quite as well as I would like to. So what you're going to see is just, you know, a bit of a montage, and then inshallah, it'll cut back to me yapping and explaining what's happening. Hopefully for the future, you know, I kind of fix up and don't make this mistake again. But yeah, continue watching and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video.
My brothers and sisters, as-salah. In English we say prayer, but it doesn't give the full meaning of the Arabic word as-salah. So as-salah has two meanings merged in one. It means to isolate and seclude yourself with Allah and to connect with Allah. Subhanallah, if we don't have a connection with our Creator, we have no connection to anything else. Because everything else in this world, although we may have a connection to it, it's always temporary and it'll run out and it'll even betray us. This entire world will betray us.
Alright guys, now this is the juicy part, you know, actually explaining what I actually did. So we started off by drafting a non-disclosure agreement. And for those of you guys that don't know, it's basically something that you sign saying that blah, 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 blah. You know, I can't really speak about my experience here. You know, it's all confidential. So learning to draft that was quite interesting because, you know, you learn about secrecy. And then came the task of us having to look at things in detail, which meant that we had to go through a document, in this case a notarial certificate, and try to find out if there were any issues or anything that we had to spot. You know, one of the highlights of the day for me was actually the guest speaker coming in, and she was a practicing lawyer, which really helps you get perspective, especially if you're a first-year law student, into understanding, well, is the profession really that worth it? Because, like, bro, trust me, I know the money's good, but at the sake and expense of your own mental health, yeah, I don't think so, man. Then we were actually given some other tasks, and I'm not going to go into detail because they might bore you, but really the gist of it was the whole internship was very, very like task heavy. The reason why Dr. Peter, and I asked him why he did this, is because he said he wanted actual skills that kids could put on their resumes, which really actually makes sense because when an prospective employer is looking at your resume, he wants these skills which, you know, they can get in their own law firm, right? So if you have these skills which you can put in your resume, then I think inshallah it does provide a benefit. But yeah, overall, I think the whole workshop was actually quite good. I did manage to secure an interview with him at the end. So yeah, that'll be coming soon, inshallah. I'll put a timestamp if you want to skip ahead of the video because I know not all of you guys will be watching for the interview. But it is quite a good interview. I think even if you don't do law, inshallah, you get some benefit out of it. All right, guys. Assalamu alaikum. So today we're here with Dr. Peter Macmillan, who kindly offered to do the internship workshop with me. As I told you guys before, I was going to have a little interview segment. So yeah, we'll get started straight into it, Dr. Peter. The first question I have for you is, what skills do you think students should be taking, or should be taking like the concrete steps to get into a law firm?
So, of course, you want to do as well as you can at university and your law school studies. That's really important. But you've also got to stand out. And my main concern is that we have students who are relying too much on AI and on their technical abilities and not enough on their people skills. So if someone has been in retail or hospitality, I rate that really highly because they know how to deal with people. Remember, we've spoken about that artificial intelligence is a democratizing technology.
Definitely.
Everyone's going to have access to it. So how do you differentiate yourself so that the client says, well, everyone's pretty much the same technically, but I'm going to choose you? It's because they trust you. So in terms of skills that I think are really important, okay, you've got to know your AI, Perplexity, ChatGPT, whatever. In 2 years' time, if people are watching this, they're not even going to recognize those names.
Definitely,
and the idea of prompt engineering is just not going to be a concept. But the things that are going to be evergreen are going to be how you get people to trust you, how do you make people feel comfortable, how you reduce people's stress, how do you solve people's problems and so they know where to go next, and just taking that burden from them. So if you can learn those skills, they're the ones that I'd double down on.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that answer. And I just want to build up on that question as well. Taking in mind those skills, how important is a resume? Because I know a lot of people, they place a lot of emphasis on, if your CV doesn't look perfect, if it doesn't have all the skills and expertise that you say that you have, you're not going to get that job or you're not going to get that foot into the law firm. So how important is a good CV to you, especially?
A good CV, I see a lot of CVs that are just overproduced, to be honest. There might be, all these wonderful colours and typefaces and fonts. It doesn't do a lot for me. Remember, you're dealing with lawyers, and lawyers like to go to the substance.
Definitely.
So if I see something, like I said, if I see something to deal with retail or hospitality, say you've been at McDonald's and you've been a team leader for 5 years, that really impresses me. So I want to see that earlier up. So it's not so much presentation as what are the elements I can get out of it. So perhaps the one tip is structure it in such a way that the information that's valuable to me as a prospective employer is right up front. And it's going to be, well, for me, so I may be a little bit different, but for me, it's going to be your ability to deal with people. I want to make sure that technically you're okay, but if you've gone to uni and you're about to graduate and your marks are good enough, then I'm happy with that. So what else can you bring to the table? Because ultimately, every law firm will love you if you can bring in clients.
Definitely, yeah.
And that's what I would double down on.
I really appreciate that, because especially like when students are trying to understand the balance between, the actual interpersonal skills and the technical skills that they're learning, it's a fine line to walk between.
It is, and what I'm thinking now is, traditionally, if you got lots of HDs, you thought that you were made.
Yeah.
But it's the HDs that are going to become what AI can do in seconds.
Definitely.
So what else is it going to be? So I think the balance is actually changing a bit. I'm not saying don't go to law school and those things, because marks do matter, because what do they indicate? They indicate your ability to study, to work hard, to understand difficult concepts. That's important. But now more than ever, you've got to be able to build up with your interpersonal skills.
And I think I just want to touch on that point again as well, just because you're talking about interpersonal skills a lot. What do you reckon, or like, what's one thing that someone's told you, like one piece of advice that's really stuck with you throughout the years and you would want younger law students to really understand as well?
So this is in relation to what? Just perhaps meeting people for the first time? Okay, so this idea of small talk.
Yes.
We've spoken about small talk. Small talk is important because it makes people feel comfortable and at ease. Because when people come to see you as a lawyer in particular, they can feel a bit scared. The issue they're dealing with might be quite stressful for them as well, but they might be intimidated because you're a lawyer. So you have an opportunity to break that down and to say, through small talk, make them feel comfortable. So for instance, the key to small talk is talk about something you're both experiencing. That's why we talk about the weather. We'll talk about, if you think they're into sports, what the sports teams did on the weekend. Whatever, just to bring something down to make it normal and something they can have a conversation about. So don't go too obscure. Don't talk about something that you're super interested in, but they have no idea about. That's just going to be crickets. So talk about something that is easy to do. Maybe as we're walking through, you know that with my office, it's quite elaborate. It looks like a casino. So I'll make the comment, my office looks like a Macau casino. And people will laugh. And then I'll say, have you been to Macau? Have you been to a casino? And suddenly we're off to a conversation. But as we're walking through that space, we're experiencing it together. So we can talk about it. So that's probably the biggest one. Small talk is important.
Yep.
And small talk is easy to do if you focus on things you're both experiencing.
Thank you, Dr. Peter. That was all I had for my questions today. I really appreciate you taking out your time, especially helping me out with this workshop.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate.
Alright, so assalamu alaikum guys. I wasn't planning on making this one, but my law grades got released, so let's go through them together inshallah. Bro, inshallah I pass. Alright, let's go through this. Yes! I passed, come on. Alright, let me show you guys. I'll show you guys. Alright, so basically the P stands for pass, D stands for his distinction, HD stands for high distinction, and D stands for distinction. Bro, do you know how crazy it is? I got 80% on the exam that I thought that I failed. Intro to law. Holy crap. Alhamdulillah, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Alhamdulillah. It's all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh my days. That's actually crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys that update. After the hectic day that I had today. That, you know, sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens ways for you and you don't even know that it's gonna happen. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video inshallah. That's it for this one. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Please do leave a like and subscribe, it means a lot. And I'll see you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum.